Kind of look nice, you know. Action! Go!
All right, now. Who am I?
Nickelodeon presents Rocko. He's one wallaby against the world. And the world's winning. With the help of Spunky, the dog without a brain. Pepper, the steer without a life.
100 channels and there's nothing on.
And a weird bunch of neighbors without manners. He's finding that life on your own can be a wild ride. It's Nickelodeon's first Nicktoon, Rocko's Modern Life, premiering November 6th, only on Nickelodeon. So you have satellite or cable, so that you can watch great stuff. But wait, if you tune to 11.156V, you can have Nickelodeon. Nick is Kids.
Despite a wealth of homegrown British talent, the hottest trends in movie comedy invariably come from America. For those stars who raise the loudest laughs, television has been both a training ground and a launchpad for some stellar comedy careers. You can catch some of the most popular of America's comedy leads across the 3 movie channels. Chevy Chase stars in Memoirs of an Invisible Man on the Movie Channel. Robin Williams delivers a heartwarming and humorous turn in The World According to Garp on Sky Movies Gold. And Steve Martin continues to debate his daughter's future in Father of the Bride on Sky Movies. But that's only scratching the side-splitting surface of the fun that's yet to come.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. Get ready, America. Here comes Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
In the late 1960s, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In was responsible for propelling Goldie Hawn onto the big screen.
Well, I'll say this for the phone company. They have naturally curly cords.
Hawn made her cinematic debut in the 1969 movie Cactus Flower, and the ditzy persona she contrived for Laugh-In served her well for more than 20 years. Only recently, in such films as Deceived and Crisscross, has she ventured into deeper dramatic waters.
Who the hell are you? You knew he was in trouble and you didn't say anything. How could you sleep with me and not say anything?
It's Saturday Night Live.
From the late 1970s onwards, one show has nurtured more fresh young stars than any other. Saturday Night Live was launched in 1975 by executive producer Lorne Michaels, with a cast that included Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, as well as the late and lamented John Belushi and Gilda Radner. Now in its 18th year, Saturday Night Live may have an all-new cast, but the humor remains as outrageous and unpredictable as ever. Chase himself made a recent trip back to his old late-night haunts and received a rousing reception.
God, I feel overwhelmed. I can't believe it's been 17 years since we started this little show. Me and Dan and, John, Gilda, Garrett, Lorraine, and that bitch Jane.
It was Chase, along with Belushi and Aykroyd, who first used the show as a springboard to cinematic success. Aykroyd and Belushi actually took characters they created for Saturday Night Live and transplanted them into a feature. The Blues Brothers was not successful at the time of its release, but the expensive comedy musical has since become a perennial cult favorite.
Elwood, we show your license currently under suspension. Step out of the car, please.
We're the good old Blues Brothers, boys, man from Chicago. Sure hope you like our show. I'm Elwood. My brother Jake.
Belushi sadly passed away in 1982, leaving his SNL co-founders Chase and Aykroyd to star in a number of comedies of varying quality. Chase found his best starring role of recent years in an adaptation of the novel Memoirs of an Invisible Man, playing an ordinary man who gets sucked into a dangerous world of espionage when a scientific experiment renders him transparent.
I've lost everything but my soul, and you're not going to take that away from me.
Whatever I become, it's going to be my choice, not yours. Is that clear?
Listen, we're prepared to give you anything you want, everything you need, but you have to understand, if you won't work with us, I can't let you live.
Director John Carpenter, best known for horror classics such as Halloween and The Thing, displays a surprisingly light and charming touch, creating a memorable offbeat comedy. Aykroyd, meanwhile, made his directorial debut with the spooky comedy Nothing But Trouble, which also starred Chase in 1991. However, he's returned to his Saturday Night Live roots this year with Coneheads, a conical comedy featuring the characters he and co-star Jane Curtin created in the 1970s.
Dan Aykroyd.
It is as if you have seized me at the base of my snorkelies.
Jane Curtin.
Hey, the drink the astronauts took to the moon. Astronauts to the moon.
Coneheads.
Are they from another planet?
If they're not, we should nuke France right away.
Throughout the 1980s, Saturday Night Live became a training ground for comics, giving them national exposure needed to cross over to a cinema audience. Eddie Murphy, Bill Murray, Martin Short, Tom Hanks, and Steve Martin all honed their craft before the loyal SNL audience, creating a decade's worth of fond memories.
Do you remember when Bill Murray came when you were the medieval barber, and he came with his legs all broken from being dragged by the ox cart after having too much mead?
Yeah, what about it?
Oh, that was awesome.
That was a long time ago.
While these comics thrived throughout the 1980s and into the 90s, both in the US and the UK, British TV talent found it difficult to make their appeal span the Atlantic. John Cleese triumphed with A Fish Called Wanda, but others such as Rick Mayall in Drop Dead Fred and Lenny Henry in True Identity turned in tremendous performances but failed to spread their catchy brand of humor to the US.
Lord Percy Chisley Piddly Smythe of South Worcestershire upon Avon speaking.
Back in the US at the beginning of the 90s, Saturday Night Live presented the nation with two characters who were to go on to become huge box office draws. Wayne's World sprung from the imaginations of SNL stars Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, a pair of comic chameleons who were popular regulars on the show.
Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. Okay, all right.
Wayne and Garth were just two of the characters played by Myers and Carvey on the show. Myers was popular for, amongst others, the ferociously pretentious German TV presenter Dieter.
Welcome to Sprockets. Welcome to Sprockets. I'm your host, Dieter. Before we begin, would you like to touch my monkey? I would be honored. Touch him! Love him! Lieber meine Erbschminky!
While Carvey had become a household name for his uncanny impersonation of then-President Bush.
You know, I know people are hurting, but the message today is I care, and I'm ready to listen. I'm here, I'm hands-on, and I'm domestic. I'm a hands-on, domestic listener, and I hear people out there, and they got real problems because we're in real trouble. And you know what, young man? I care about you. You ruined my life!
As up-and-coming stars, both had the opportunity to star with more established actors, with Myers and Steve Martin sharing the spotlight in one particularly memorable routine.
Hello. Yes.
Carvey was the first of the pair to break out onto the big screen in 1990's Opportunity Knocks. Carvey plays a con man who breaks into a house and inadvertently finds himself stuck in the high life.
Mr. Malkin, Mr. Harris finished his meeting with Mr. Nimaku. The interpreter left, but Mr. Nimaku still seems to have one other question.
Well, we've got the man right here, Vi. 2 years at the Nagasaki office of Phillips. Help us out, will you, John?
Konnichiwa. Sumimasen. O tearai wa doko desu ka?
Oh, that's easy. He's saying that he is happy to be here.
Sumimasen no ima sugu ikanai to.
そこたい、なんか、ぬそいたと。いたかたい、いたいたくんたかい。We're not worthy!
We're not worthy! The teaming of Myers and Carvey in Wayne's World proved to be box office dynamite.
My name is Wayne Campbell. I live in Aurora, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. Excellent. I've had plenty of Joe jobs. Nothing I'd call a career. Let me put it this way. I have an extensive collection of name tags and hairnets.
Following up his Wayne's World success, Myers wrote and starred in the comedy So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Hello, sweetheart.
Missed me, darling?
And the Saturday Night Live spin-offs continue, with Chris Rock starring in the hip-hop spoof CB4, Julia Sweeney creating a movie vehicle for her androgynous creation Pat, and Adam Sandler making his cinematic debut in Michael Lehmann's forthcoming heavy metal comedy, Airheads. The show's hottest young property, Sandler, seems assured of superstardom.
What would it be like if I were Mayor McCheese? First, I would order the Hamburglar to be put to death. If only I could catch him. It's just not fair. He steals burgers, and who pays for his crimes? The people of McDonaldland. The people who elected me, Mayor McCheese.
You ever called someone up and you're disappointed when they answer the phone?
The only series whose cast can measure up to the big screen potential of Saturday Night Live is Seinfeld. Jason Alexander had movie breaks in Pretty Woman and White Palace, and this Christmas he'll team with Seinfeld co-star Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Rob Reiner's North. Most likely to hit big is Michael Richards, who plays Seinfeld's wacky neighbor, Kramer.
It's Kramer. Yeah, I'm the next-door neighbor. Well, you know, Jerry's left, but listen, see, my golf game got canceled. I'm thinking of going up myself. They got pies, and I got the directions right here.
Having already appeared in Coneheads, and So I Married an Axe Murderer, Richards is co-starring in the aforementioned Airheads.
Oh, I know I sound bitter. But this business, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't go into real estate or something, you know. It's just a mess. These people, and a lot of them have been drinking.
With stars of the past still thriving, and shows such as Saturday Night Live providing a steady stream of young talent, American comedy stars look set to be a permanent fixture on our screens for good. Keep watching Sky Movies, the Movie Channel, and Sky Movies Gold to keep up with the cream of the comedy crop.
I need you, I need you, I need you in the morning.
Kids and kids are Nick, so Nick's the channel kids will pick. Nick's got guts, what a kick, because Nick is kids and kids are Nick. Welcome freshmen, tall and slick, it's just for kids, that's the trick. Guts, kick, freshman trick. Channel Nick, where every day you get the pick. On Nick the channel kids will pick. Salute your shorts is full of tricks. Larissa gets what she wants quick. Larissa quick, shorts, tricks. Channel Nick, hey dude, that's the click. On Nick the channel kids will pick. Out of control, cool and slick, especially if you're a lunatic. Dude, click, tick. Nick, kick, slick, trick, quick, click, lunatic. Nick is kids and kids are Nick, so Nick's the channel kids will pick.
Coming up in the interview, we talk to the director and the young star of The Secret Garden, the enchanting new version of a classic tale, in just a minute.
If you've got a passion for food,
we're going to make a really great chicken consomme.
Sky One's new cookery program is for you.
This is not the gourmet show, this is the You and Me show.
James Barber will be cooking up some delicious dishes such as
wonderful Italian salad, caviar omelets, spatchcocked quail, a pasta sauce.
In his own inimitable style.
You can do it. It's easy, it's easy.
The Urban Peasant, weekdays at 12 noon on Sky One.
In the interview now, we talk to director Agnieszka Holland and to young actress Kate Mabley about their new version of a children's classic, The Magical Tale of the Secret Garden.
I was a little worried to work on the project which means
so much for many people of every generation, you know. After when I decided to do it, I met like 100 of people, especially women, of different age, telling, oh, it was my favorite book as a child, and so on. So it means I felt very strong responsibility, much stronger in some way than doing my own story.
Who's going to dress me?